Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Welcome back to Season 6 of Let's Talk Chicago Bears, and it's the 2025 football season. Yes, we're finally there. Last night's game kicked it off against Dallas and Philadelphia, and it was a good game. Fireworks in the beginning, which we'll talk about in a minute. So first I have to do something. I had a show on Monday, which I appreciate all the people who watched me. Thank you. I hope you like it. If you do, subscribe and keep coming back. And I got to thank my loyal, I've been on, this is my 6th year doing this show, and started during COVID. And I have people that have been watching me since the beginning. There's a few of them, and they are back, and I can't thank them enough. I mean, it is pretty awesome. I have this old lady who used to live in Illinois. I moved to Vegas in January of 18, and I am a Bears fan. I've been a Bears fan since 1975. Just give you a few. The regular viewers know this, but I am an avid, really an avid fan. I bleed blue and orange. So thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. But I did a show on Monday to kind of get my feet wet. I called it my preseason show because, I had a few bumps in the beginning right away, and I did a really stupid thing, and I cannot tell Dan how sorry I am, but I want to mention a very good friend of mine. I met Dan. He does a podcast. A few years ago, Dan saw my show on YouTube and reached out to me and was like, man, I really like your show, blah, blah, and we got to be great friends. And he does a live podcast every week. And actually, a few years ago, him and I, for the 1 year, we did a show together. It was called The Lowdown with Lynn and Dan, and we did that live. And then for other circumstances, health reasons, stuff, I couldn't finish I couldn't do the next season, but sometimes I'm on his podcast. I'll pop up, and I just love him. We're really, really a great guy, and we became very good friends. He's in his late 40s. I'm in my late 60s, and it turns out that we lived a few miles apart from each other when he was growing up. Isn't that crazy? When my husband and I were living in Lake Villa, and he was just a few miles apart. Too weird. So, but what I did was, I went to give him a shout out, and I forgot the name of his podcast. Can you believe that? Yes, very pickled brain. Too many of these, few of those, and that's what happens when you get old. So Dan, and everybody out there, if you'd like to watch a podcast, they get into the nitty-gritty. They get into the bones of the game. They do film, etc. I'm a little lighter. But it's a great show, and it's called Bears Country Productions. So check it out. It's great. And Dan, I love you. And I'm just going to say a little something about last night's game. Before the game even started, before one snap, Jalen Carter, their Philadelphia's best hand-down player, got kicked out because he spit at Dak Prescott. Now, it turns out that Dak Prescott started it, but he spit on the ground. This guy spit on his uniform, and the ref was standing there. He gets kicked out of the game. Now, that could have cost Philadelphia easily that game. It did not, but it could have. And they had no sacks, Philadelphia. Guarantee that guy played, there would have been at least 2 or 3. He's really good, but very selfish, very immature, and I hope he really gets a punishment because he deserves it. That's not a team player at all. Man, I'd be pissed if a Bears player did that. So, anyways, let's move on. So, we play Monday night against the Vikings, and and one thing the Bears need to do this season that they have not done in a while is they need to start, we play them, each team twice a year in our division, and we better this year win at least one of those games. So we better win 3 out of the 6, if not more. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to go to playoffs. That's just simply how it is. So the Bears have to turn it around. So overall, the Bears on Monday night, overall, the Vikings have the overall win lead. They have 68 wins to 58 wins for the Bears and 2 ties in the future, in our history, and they played twice in the playoffs. Their very first meeting occurred September 17th, which is my father's birthday, Dad, in 1961. So that's that. Now, the Bears don't have a great record on Monday night. They just don't. They're 32-40 overall on Monday night. But the bright note is they're 17-15 at home and 15-25 on the road. So one bright spot is they are playing at home in Soldier Field. So that's a good thing, right? So if you're going, get there and be ready to yell, scream, be loud, okay? Because that's what you need. We got to show the Bears our support and make it so the Vikings offense cannot hear. Yes. Just to give you a little highlight, the Bears named 5 team captains, which seems excessive to me, but whatever. Our quarterback, Williams, number 18, is one. Then we've got, and the 4 other guys that are, and he's only been there 2 years. The 4 other captains have been in the league 10 years and over each. Our O lineman, number 62, Tooney. Our D lineman, number 50, Jarrett. Our D back, number 31, Bard, you know me, I can't say names, and our kicker, number 8, Santos. So congratulations, you guys, and let's see, right? So this is the first game. So just to let you know, when I do my shows the week before the Friday before the game, I always compare stats like the quarterback stats, running backs, wide receivers, and then defense and how they've been doing. But obviously it's the first game, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to give you a few things, information for you to let you know. I'm going to give you the starting lineup right now for the Bears. And, I mean, it could change. They're going to rotate in and out. But this right now will be the 5 that'll be on the field to start the game. Number 70, Jones. He won that last spot. Left tackle, Joe Tooney, number 62. Left guard, number 52, Drew Dalman. Again, please, people, I'm terrible with names. Our center, number 73, Jackson. Our right guard, number 58, and who we like, he's been around for a while. Our right guard is Darnell White. So let's just hope these guys do what we haven't had in the last, 3-4 seasons, or actually pretty longer than that, is an offensive line. It's so important to have a group. And these guys, they're not going to be great right out of. They're going to have to build that rapport. You know, you have teams like, for instance, Philadelphia. Even though Kelsey retired, but that line last year they played with and who won the Super Bowl, they had been together for years, and that's what really makes the line. When the Bears were great in the 80s, in the 1985. You see this picture of the offensive lineman. Those guys were together for years, and it makes so much difference. And when you're having with injuries and not signing good players, or they fail to be what you thought, and then you're plugging in and out. It's just, you need continuity, and we need that for Caleb, and we need it for our running team. So let's go and let's see it. It's gonna be probably not. It's gonna get better each week, our line, and let's pray they stay healthy. Now I'm gonna give you our running backs, and this is one of my big concerns of the season, is the running backs. Now, if you watched me last year, you know I'm not a Swift fan. Number 4, Swift is our running back. Number 23, Johnson. And our rookie, number 25, Kyle. And I cannot say his name. Gainey? I don't know. But Kyle. We'll call him number 25, Kyle. They are our 3 top running backs. Johnson, and now I did not look at the injury report today, but he was on it yesterday. I'm extremely concerned about our running game. Now, last year, Swift is not a power back. He's more of a finesse type of a runner, this and that, and they played him last year as a power back. That's not what he is. He couldn't even get 1,000 yards. You don't get 1,000 yards runner, you're not going to the playoffs. I'm telling you. And so what I'm hoping with this rookie that we got, Kyle, number 25, in the later rounds, that he and Johnson could be our power backs, and Swift can do what he's supposed to do. And Ben Johnson is an offensive coordinator and offensive guy, so I'm thinking that he's going to scheme Swift this year the way he should be played. I hope. But I'm very concerned about our running team, running game, and that is one of the most important part of your offense. If you don't get a running game going, it's almost impossible to really start getting that passing game consistently going. It makes it so hard to get those long passes. You get a running game going where you're getting 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, then the defense has got to respect that. Then you can start opening the game up with the passing. So the running game is so essential to what a team needs to do, and especially the Bears. The Bears are known for running and defense. Now, hopefully we can say, as the year goes on, they're also known for a really good quarterback. Fingers crossed. So we have Swift starting. Like I said, Johnson was banged up. He was questionable yesterday, and then Kyle, number 25, our rookie. So let's pray we get and then there's some other guys that they can throw in there. Running backs wide receivers, of course, number 2, DJ Moore. Number 15, our second-year guy, 15, Rome, along with number 14, and there's no way I can say his name. It's Zaccheaus. There you go. And he's number 14. They picked him up in the offseason. He's been in the league, I think, 7 years. Number 10, Luther Barden the third. He is a rookie. We got him in the second round. And then number 20, Walker. He was undrafted. I like this guy. If you saw any of the preseason games when he got a couple touchdowns, and he got the touchdown that won the game against Kansas City in the last seconds. He was undrafted, but this kid is fun, and when the team love him, and he brings energy, and he made the team. So I look for some good things from these guys. So we've got wide receivers. That's not the problem. And let me finish with the tight ends, and then we'll talk. So we've got 2 great starting tight ends. Of course, Cole Clement, who is from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Yeah, baby. I grew up in Prospect Heights. 85, Clement, who we've had for a few years. Always been one of my favorites. Very underused last year. I mean, it was ridiculous how much they did not use him. And this guy can catch. He can catch just about anything, and he gets open. So, and then our rookie that we drafted, number 1, number 84, Loveland, who went to Michigan. I saw him play. I look for very big things for him. Of course, not right out of the bat, but I predict he's going to be very involved. Well, Ben Johnson loves tight ends, okay? I love tight ends. I think there's so many things they can do. They obviously block. They obviously catch. But you can get them out in open space. They can, there's so many things you can do with them. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's, again, and then Cabe. Of course, it all starts with him. He has, as I mentioned on Monday, he's in his sophomore year now, and he's not going to be great yet. He's going to need another year, especially last year. You know what? It was so fucked up. There was no coaching on that team. It's quite obvious when you hear all the players now say this is the hardest camp they've ever been in. Hello. So, it tells you. And Johnson he worked Cabe hard in camp, but he needed it. So they worked on his footing. They've worked on him reading defenses and looking over his progressions. And if he can improve those 3 things, much better. Now, he was the most sacked quarterback, 68 last year, and they were not all on the offensive line. I'm sorry, they're not, and I have to take a drink of water. They were all, excuse me. They were not all on the offensive line. Cabe, a few times, held onto the ball way too long, and that's another thing they're going to work on, releasing that ball. If you've gone through your progressions, take off or throw that ball out of the bounds. And he was not doing that last year. He held on to it way too long, and I have a feeling it's going to be better this year. And I hope he'll have the trust in his offensive line. Because, sometimes offensive line, they start out like this, and then it starts, because the defense is pushing the guys. And a lot of times, you got it's like this, and the quarterback's in the middle. The really good quarterbacks just stay there and do their job and get rid of that ball. And that's something we got to hope that Cabe has been practicing. So, but that run game, as I'm so worried about, is going to help him. You get that run game going, that's going to relieve so much pressure off of Williams to have more time, and they won't know what you're doing every time. Last year, I swear every team knew what we were doing. It was just too obvious. So, we know what we got to do. So it's, Cabe and get that running game going and get those wide receivers. And the wide receivers, another thing with a young quarterback is you got to watch your quarterback. Because if you see he's in trouble, you need to keep running that route or go where he can see you and get free and let him see it. That's the responsibility. But I'm pretty confident with this set of wide receivers. I think we're going to do okay. So, the defensive line, the starting defensive line right now is number 98, Swift. And I was really disappointed with him last year. He only had 5 sacks. That's not what we paid him all that money to do. He was hurt. He had a foot problem, but man, 5? He better be in double digits this year, seriously, because that's what he's being paid for, and it better happen. But I think the Bears may have gotten him some help, and we'll see. Because the thing is, if you don't got somebody on the other side to scare the defense, they're always going to double cover Swift. So we need to, help him out and get other guys playing so he's not always double covered. Then the DN is 50, Grady Jarrett. Defensive tackle, 99, Dexter Sr. He had a great year last year. Great. Played he had a good preseason. Defensive tackle, 55, Deo. I cannot pronounce his last name. So he is our D-end. And then they're going to mix guys in, and number 92, Daniel Hardy. So they're going to mix him in with them, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Daniel Hardy was the 5th. No, because they pay a 4-man. That's right, they're 4-man. And then you will see a Daniel Hardy in there. These are the other guys they're going to mix in. You'll see them. Daniel Hardy, number 92, number 91, Williams. You'll see Andrew Billings, who is really good at stopping the run. When he got hurt last year, that's when the defense couldn't stop the run for shit. They couldn't. They were running all over us. So we got to get Billings in there. He was a little banged up, I think. We got to get him there to stop that run and clog it up. Bears have got to be able to stop the run this year. We've got a good secondary, so I'm not concerned about the passing as much. But if you can't stop that run, as I just said, then the passing is going to open up, and you're going to tax your backfield. So we have got that defensive line has got to do the best they can to at least, first of all, the defensive line has got to get in that quarterback's face. You got to get sacks. If you can't get in the sacks, at least get in his face, fluster him, force him to throw the ball when he's not ready. Because 9 out of 10 times, what happens? It's either incomplete or turnover. So the Bears have got to be better at that. They only had like 40 sacks, I want to say, last year. And did I put that in my notes? I'm not sure. But that wasn't very good because Denver had 63. So that D-line has got to at least slow down that running game, and those linebackers will come in and help. But it is huge because we were just terrible at it last year. So these guys have got to, this defensive line, we have got to see much more. They got to stay healthy and stop that run. Our linebackers are okay. I wouldn't say they're spectacular, but they're good. The first one, number 53, TJ Edwards from Lake Villa, Illinois. Lake Villa. I grew up in Prospect Heights, but after I got married, my husband and I bought a house in Lake Villa, and that's where we raised our son until I moved here in 2018. So, and Edwards was from Lake Villa, so that's pretty cool. He's our starting linebacker. 49, Edmonds, which was also on the injured reserve yesterday. Was it Edmonds or Edwards? I always get these two mixed up. But it looks like he'll stay. And then for number 47, Ruben Hypolite number is the another linebacker, and there's also 44, Noah Swell. So these are our linebackers, and they've done a pretty good job. I can't say we have the best linebacker core out there, but we do not have the worst. So, we're good with that. If you get your offensive line or your defensive line doing their job, last year, the linebackers and the D-backs did more tackling than the line did. So that's when you know you have problems, and we did last year. And our cornerbacks, again, I say our backfields, I'm pretty content as long as they're healthy. And as long as this guy, for sure, number one, Jalen Johnson, who did not play at all in preseason, right before camp happened, he had a freak accident training. And it was a groin, and it was bad, I guess, obviously, because he didn't play. And they're not 100% sure he's starting. There's a lot of back and forth about this. We need him. He is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, this guy. He really, really is. And then number 29, Stevenson. Everybody knows Stevenson. And number 6, another good one, Gordon. He's the nickel back. These guys are very talented. And if they stay healthy, no problems there. And then one of my favorites, the safety, number 9, Brisker. Another person who we desperately need to stay healthy. Last year he got a concussion in the Carolina game, which was our last win until the last game against Green Bay. Actually, I flew to Illinois with my sister, and we went to that Carolina game. Of course, that's why they won. But Brisker didn't play the rest of the year, and this is his third, I think, concussion, and so we got to keep him healthy, because when he was in there last year, turnovers, if he doesn't get them, he helps somebody else get them, and he's just all over the damn field, and he's so talented. But with these concussions, and he's only been in the league 3 years, 4 years, and having 3, that's not good. So let's pray we can keep him healthy, because he's very talented. And then again, one of the captains, number 31, Kevin Bide. So he's good too. He's a little older, but he's really smart. And then our backfield, you know what? I'm really not worried about him. But if we can't get the running game going, I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to really have to step up. Everyone has to step up. That's just the bottom line. So, and then for our special teams, of course, number 8, our kicker, Santos. Santos is good. Great, no, but he's good. I would like to see his leg strength just get a little better. That's the big dig against him. He's consistent with making them. It's just the distance has been an issue for him. And our second year punter, number 19, Taylor. He came from Iowa 2 years ago. He's good. I'd really like to see him. He can really punt, but I'd like to see him nailing him a little bit more around the 5-yard line consistently this year. This is his second year. And then our number 46, Scott Day is our long snapper. And then the punt team right now is number 12, Devin. His name is Devin, number 12. He is the kickoff returner and the punt returner right now. So the thing is, the Bears, okay, we got to talk about, all right, in my opinion, the Bears have to be at least 500 or better this year. I don't think any of us could take any less. People are, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Remember, I told you they have the third hardest schedule in the NFL. Look at that schedule. Now, again, they're going off of last year's teams. A lot can happen from a year to year. Just because they were great last year does not make them great this year. And then there's injuries and this and that, and players change teams nowadays. They don't stay on the teams as long. So there's a lot of variables that can happen here, but the Bears have got to. They have got to bring this organization back up. Ben Johnson has to get this team back to where we know Chicago Bears can play. So, I always talk about this during my shows on the Friday before the show. I call them my 3s. Penalties, turnovers, time of possession. If you can win at least 2 out of 3, if not all 3, you're very close to winning, or you're going to win that game. Penalties, my rule is 5 or less. You have more than that, you're in shit deep trouble. Bears did well for a while, then they did real bad, and then they came back again and did well. But you know what? You got to be consistently, the Baltimores, the Kansas Cities, who else is really good? All those really good teams, they don't have a lot of penalties. Cincinnati, they have 5 or less, okay? So important. Penalties they are so destructive. Think about it. If you get a penalty right off the bat on offense, which they so many do, right away it's 1st and 10, right? Bears, they do false start, 1st and 15. So now that changes the play calling of what Ben Johnson's sending in. So now it's a whole new play because now you need 15. It stops the momentum of your offense. Bears, several times last year, they were going, penalty. You go back 10 yards for holding. Now you're at 1st and 20. Really changes your play call. So you see what I mean? It's just so disruptive. So 5 or less. Turnovers, well, it's quite obvious. I really don't have to tell you that. Turnovers are the best. When your defense can get turnovers, obviously it's going to help the offense get back out on the field. And it puts their defense on the other team back on the field, and their offense is off the field. So turnovers, and it lifts the team. It can change the dynamic of a game like, I can't even snap like that. So turnovers huge, and I could see a healthy backfield this year. We're going to get them again. We got Jalen Johnson. We got Brisker back there. Gordon. They like to hog the ball. So let's get back to turnovers a lot this year and help your offense. And then time of possession. People argue with me all the time about this. I can't tell you that, but I believe it. Because the thing about time of possession is, if you're winning it, that means your offense has been on the field way longer than that they have. And even if you only get 3 points out of it, I'd like 7, but you're keeping your defense on the bench rested. You're keeping their offense off the field. So time of possession is huge. It just if you can win it, you're in control of that game. And don't get me wrong, sure, teams have won games and had less time of possessions, and so has the Chicago Bears. But consistently, you need to control the game, which means controlling the clock, which can do a lot for you, right? So, as I told you, go over a few things to end the show. What Williams needs to do this year. Not so many sacks. He needs to set his feet. He's got to make those reads quickly and get that ball down the field. And if he can't, you either take off or you throw it out of bounds. You cannot take these sacks. That's as bad as a penalty because you lose anywhere from sacks can be anywhere from 6 to 20 yards, right? Depending. So he really needs to do that. He needs to just settle down, trust the people around him, and relax. And I think he will. But sacks are huge for him, and he's just gotta do what the other team is letting him to sometimes. Don't try to be the hero. So, he doesn't need to be. He's got a lot of other players on that team. Get the ball to the playmakers and let them do it. That's why the running game is so important to him. Because if you get that running game going, that makes life for him so much easier. So, I'm not going to repeat it, but it's true. And as I said, Ben Johnson loves tight ends. So I really cannot wait because in preseason we didn't see a lot what Ben's going to do. They're not going to give their hand away. I can't wait to see what he does with some of these players. He's got, he's got to, I heard him say, I got to feed the ball to some of these guys. I've got a lot of guys out there that want the ball and a lot of talent in it, and I want to make them happy. So I got to spread this ball around, and I have a feeling that's what he's going to do. But the tight ends, I think, are going to be very, very big this year, and we've got 2 premiers, in my opinion. I really think so. So, and, I told you about the wide receivers, their jobs. And, of course, I told you about the defensive line. They've got to get after those quarterbacks way more than they did last year. I was right. I did have it. They had 40 sacks total last year. That was 16th on the list. Denver was number 1 with 63. Bears got to shoot for that. And they haven't been able to do that. Like I said, I think Dexter Sr., he either tied Swift or he had one more. I mean, we didn't have anybody go over 10 or 9 for double digits. So that's got to change. And even if you don't get the actual sack, if you cause that quarterback to throw it away, throw an interception, throw an incompletion, okay, I'm cool with that. But I want to see some more sacks because who doesn't like a good sack? Ugh. You know what I mean? And then just lean on them a little bit when you get up. Ooh, I'm sorry. So that defensive line, and they've got to stop the run this year. Because like I said a little earlier, the linebackers and the backfield were doing most of the tackling last year. The linebackers, I can't remember which linebacker. Was it Edmonds? I think it was. He led the team in tackles. That's not how, in my opinion, I don't think a linebacker should be leaning. But maybe, I don't know. I'm 67. What the fuck do I know? But, so defensive line, it starts right there. You stop that run. You force them to throw the ball. You got great guys behind you, the linebackers and backfield. You know they can do it. Let them do it. So important with this to stop the run and get after that quarterback. I mean, we need to get fast jumps, and you know what? It's important. And I don't have to explain the backfield. I already talked about how good they are and what they need to do, right? So I pretty much went over what everybody, and it's getting, I do have a timer, so I know how long I'm chit-chatting because I could go on for hours. But so basically, this show is really, because there's not a lot of stats because it's the first game. So we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. We really don't. We saw what we saw in preseason, but mostly you saw second, third, and fourth stringers trying to see who's going to make the team, who are the backups. I mean, yes, the Buffalo game, people are like, oh, my God, don't expect that, people. Because no starters were in that Buffalo game. They were second and third stringers, okay? So, but we creamed them, but still. So, you know what? We just need, I know that Ben Johnson is going to put a team on the field this year way different than the team we had last year. I mean, I'm not even going to go back. I want to talk about it anymore. We've got to move forward. Poor Virginia didn't get to see another playoff game, but she's up there now. She's sitting with Walter and Steve McMichael, and they're like, okay, Dave Durison, they're like, okay, let's root for him, all right? And then, of course, we've got the best Bears fan ever, Poblio. I mean, does he have it in with certain somebody or what? If it were only that easy, right? But yeah, never know. So the Bears just have to play, bottom line, consistent, air-free football. Every player needs to go out there. I saw some players, the second and third stringers in preseason, they were playing their hearts out, man. We need that every snap, every game. And what's the most important thing, in my opinion? The Bears have to change one thing that they've always been really bad at for at least the last, 10 years. Start out fast. There always seems like they're behind offense and defense. Even if the Bears got the ball first or whatever and go down, and they go down, and maybe they make it to the, whatever, and maybe they have to settle for a field goal or don't even get that. I want them not to go 3 and out. You cannot you got to stop those 3 and outs. Stop them. And that's another thing. 3 and outs, you're helping the other team's offense and defense, because now you're not wearing out their defense, and now their offense is coming back. So 3 and outs suck. Even if you don't get points up, get down the field. And the defense, same. How many games have we seen our defense, the first 2-3 series, they give up points, and then they hunker down, and then that's it. But in past years, we haven't had the offense to give them points, right? Last year, that was a problem. We lost several, 3 or 4 games by less than a touchdown, and a couple games by less than a field goal, because our defense started bad but then got better, and then we didn't have the offense to give them points. So you get my point. So Bears fans, it's the first game. It's not the end of the world if we don't win, but I think it would say an awful, awful lot if the Bears come out with a win for their confidence, to show the league we're back, and to beat one of the teams in our league. Huge. Because next week we got another one, and I think it's going to be harder, is Detroit. Now, J.J. McCarthy is the Minnesota quarterback. He played at Michigan two years ago. This is his second year with Minnesota. He got hurt, so he didn't play last year. He got hurt right away. He did win the championship, and Harbaugh, told the National Football League, this guy is great. I watched Michigan a lot. Consistent, yeah. Didn't make a lot of errors, yeah, but great, no. It's the Big Ten. You know what? They had a great defense. They had a great running game, so we'll see. He's young. He did not play last year, so essentially this is his first year playing. Now, he's been studying for a year, but it's first year on the field with real game action. It's a lot faster in the NFL than it is in college. So I think the Bears have a chance for sure on Monday. If they play air-free, consistent, get the ball down the field, yeah, they're going to win. And they should. So I don't predict wins or losses. I don't give, I'm going to say it's my friend Dan, when I go on his podcast, he always makes me say it, and I don't like doing it, but everybody likes it. I don't. Just like I don't like betting on football. I'm in a fantasy league. I don't, all my years, I've never been in one because I don't like betting on football. It ruins the pleasure of it for me. But my son's running it this year, so I said, okay, I did not get a very good team. You know what? I asked people how the strategy was of drafting. Now I know. If I do it again next year, things are going to be different. I got a D. I know. But I got, some players were in that game last night, and I got 110 points, so not so bad, but well, no, it's a long season, but yeah. And I had to draft a quarterback who I don't even like, Dak Prescott. I hate Dallas, and I don't like him at all. And I had to draft him because there wasn't really anybody left. So, but I didn't play him last night. You have two quarterbacks, and I'm gonna play. I took the second-year guy from New England, Drake May. He's going to be playing the Raiders, so I'm playing him. So, but I'm not even sure why I told you that, but see? Pickled! Anyway, so let's go, Bears. Let's be ready. Everybody put on their baseball gear. Get all their lucky, whatever little lucky thing you have that means the Bears can win, bring it out. Because we need to turn it around and make this a winning season, because I'm not taking any less. I'm 67. I'm not getting any younger. I want to go to the playoffs, and I would love nothing more to see a Super Bowl win with my son. In 85, I was married, but he wasn't born yet. And in 2006, well, we know how bad that game was. And he was at the age where he didn't really care yet. I mean, he did, but he didn't. But now he's a man, and I got grandkids, and I want to win a Super Bowl. Anyways, so that's it. I kind of give you what I think, and I'm going with the Bears are going to win, and I really, really hope they do. And if you go into the game, have a great time. And Bears fans are awesome. So keep going, baby. We're going to do it this year. I just know it. I think we're going to surprise some people. And on that note, first of all, I used to do this every time I sign off. I don't care if people like it or not. Love one another. Respect people. Be kind to people. You don't know what's going on in their lives, and sometimes a simple smile as you're walking by somebody. I know it's helped me when I've been in a shitty mood or something like that, or I'm in the grocery store, which I absolutely hate because it's expensive and it's annoying. And I usually smile, but sometimes smile at me and I'm like, thanks, I'll talk to anybody. But be kind. And it's tough out there right now. It's just so much going on, and we need one another. There are good people out there, okay? And let's us be those good people, all right? And just love, okay? And again, thank you so much for watching me. You really make this old lady happy, and I'm a little sorry I went way over, but I'll try to keep better. And I will see you guys. It probably won't be till later on Tuesday, so look for my show later, because I do watch my grandbabies. So on Tuesday, and the game's Monday night. So Bears, you bring us home a win. I'm not kidding. Don't make me come there. I'm short, but I'm mighty, so look out. Okay, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the first Sunday of football and then the win on Monday night, right? Right. So thanks again, and as always, keep on rocking from Vegas, baby. See you Tuesday.